Morning to you all. It's a little bit of nostalgia coming back to Chennai. This is where we started the association, way back in about 21 years, 22 years back. And our first seminar was just 500 meters away from here in La Meridian. And we had a successful thing starting from there. Today we started with about 10, 15 people in Chennai. Today we are here. You can see the association has grown big enough now. Today we are for a critical discussion on lessons from disasters, learning from fire incidents to build better safety protocols. As fire safety professionals, policymakers and emergency responders, your roles are essential in shaping strategies that minimize risks, protect communities and ensure swift, effective response to crisis. With modern urbanization increasing the frequency of fire incidents and industrial hazards, the collaboration between government agencies, industries and emergency response team has never been more important. By studying past fire disasters, we can enhance building design, enforce stricter regulations, and implement more effective fire prevention and response strategies. My name is Liaquat, and I am honored to serve as today's moderator. With a background in fire protection, and I have worked closely with both policymakers and fire industry to understand the importance of developing strategies and that enhance resilience and safeguard lives and infrastructure. We are joined today by a distinguished panel of experts who bring invaluable experience in managing major fires, avoiding disasters across different sectors. Nalinji, starting with you. Nalin Chaudhary is Director of State Fire Services Gujarat, in charge of the entire state, covering a large industrial belt and a lot of high rises. So fire incidents in building have historically led to devastating losses of life and property. However, these strategies also provide valuable lessons that can be leveraged to improve safety protocols by studying the past fire incidents, what has been happened. So like example, what you say is the Grenfell Towers which happened, the fire where about 75 people were killed, and because the fire started with just a fire in the refrigerator. So what are the, how we can improve the necessity for stricter building code compliance and regular inspections, improved evacuation plans and better communication during emergencies. I would like to have your thoughts on that.
Thank you. Good morning to all. Today's topic is very most important topic, prevention, because कई बार होता है ना, सब दर्द की दुख की दवा जो होती है वो एक ही होती है. वैसा अगर फायर इंसिडेंट्स की हम बात करें तो प्रिवेंशन जो है वो एक दवा है. एंड इफ वी टेक इट इन सीरियस वे, देन वी कैन we are facing the lots of incidents in the community that can be avoided. So for the prevention, first we have to think about the fire incidents, how it happens. And also we have to understand what is the prevention. So in my language, I can say proactive thinking towards the fire safety is called the prevention. If we think in a proactive manner toward the fire safety, that is called the prevention. And in another language, in another definition, I will tell you, prevention, it means lesson learned from the incidents, we get the recommendation or the corrective actions. All these corrective action, ground implementation, that is called the prevention. So with the aim of these two definition, we can serve better towards the prevention. I will tell you about the prevention, which is based on the past incident in the Gujarat. Gujarat is totally changed now. After the Takshila fire, Then the fire happened in the hospitals during the COVID. Then last Rajkot Games on fire. We take a lots of initiatives towards the prevention. For example, I will say, after my joining to the Gujarat government, within a 4 to 5 months of my tenure, we changed the entire regulation. Gujarat Fire Prevention and Life Safety Measure Regulation 2024 is launched in December 2023. So entire norms we changed. Second, earlier we are issuing the fire safety certificates offline. So we create one portal with the help of the government agencies, and we introduce the online fire safety certificates. Fire safety certificate also we categorize. One for the design stage, which is called as a fire safety certificate plan approval. Second is the fire safety certificate, which is required after the construction of building, when building use permission you are getting. Third is the renewal, and fourth is fire safety certificate for the temporary structures. Then after Rajkot fire, in the corporation, it is very difficult to deal because the local bodies, they are having the standing committees and the general boards, but the vision of the state government and the IS office, our principal secretary and the chief ministers, in all corporation, we created a separate prevention wings. Around 250 manpower we sanction in the all corporations who will dedicatedly work for the prevention activities, not the fighting activities. Also similar kind, we sanction the separate staff for the prevention in the state level, in the district level. So we are having the 33 districts in the states. So each district headquarter, we sanction the around 15 manpower. So something 350 posts we created for the prevention activities in the district levels. Because prevention, nowadays what happened, a fire officer who is firefighting, who is giving the trainings, also he has to look after the matter of the NOC issuance, then he is also responsible for the prevention activities. So उसको क्या क्या करना, उसको खुद इतनी सारी activities होती है कि वो he is not focusing on the preventions. So by the aim of for separate creation of the staff, हम लोग prevention पे आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. Then one state, one cadre, and many more initiative we are taking, which is the best example for the other states also. कि prevention को हम कैसे लेना है.
So this new rules you said in Gujarat, which you have created after coming into your position, is it aligning with the NBC? How is it, sir?
Yes,
is
purely.
There anything different?
It is purely aligned with the NBCs. But what happened in the every state there is a building bylaws, and building bylaws are governed through government as well as the space.
Yeah, right. I think there is a good morning to you. You came at the right time, so we are asking about NBC.
So actually, NBC categorized in the fire prevention, fire protections, life safety and special requirement. So in the government of the Gujarat, we adopted the protection part 100%.
Okay.
Special requirement 100% we adopted from the NBC. But the part of, and prevention also, but part of the life safety which is related to building construction, which is related to the space of the buildings, we follow as per the building bylaws, which is a GDCR, Gujarat Common Development Control Regulations.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank
insight
you.
into this thing. So we all know the oil and gas industry in India is highly vulnerable to fires, explosions, and hazardous materials incidents. Given the presence of flammable hydrocarbons and high pressure systems and having volatile chemicals, fire and disaster management in this sector becomes very critical. Today I have an expert from the designer consultant Tarak Chatravati Saab, who is the founder of TTS Consultants. He specializes in the designs of steel plants, power plants, and oil and gas sector. Sir, how do you the protocol for your design to make sure that the incidents of fire are minimized and avoid any disasters?
Good morning to all, and warm welcome to this seminars. Now, industry, there are different categories. If your hydrocarbon industries, designing is a different type, and if it's power plant, is totally different. Now, if you talk about hydrocarbon industry, the main challenges is the flammability and quick spread of fire. In case of any spark, everybody remember Jaipur fire. Entire plant burnt out. Maybe the reason, maybe, but I'm not sure, maybe a spark of the car. They've started the car outside the gate, total plant gone under fire. That was the preliminary information what we have received that time. So while designing the system, we normally take care of the CV, calorific values of the different material, flammability, and the metallurgy to be decided accordingly, because normal piping, if I go ahead with the hydrant, if your hydrant, we always think that IS 1239 pipes with a thickness of maybe 6 millimeter. But in case of this type of industry, we normally consider seamless pipe with schedule 40, or in different cases it may be schedule 80 also, which can take lot of pressures and the other factors. Because in case of any, during summer also, if you see normal industry, the pipeline pressure goes high because due to the expansion of the fluid. But hydrocarbon industry, in case of that is also there, again if there is a change in any temperature or heat, it expands like anything, and the direction is not unidirectional, it's a bidirectional. In which way the fluid will go, nobody knows. Cryogenic, another important factors. We are very cautious while designing the cryogenic system. That is another flammable material. Pumps. We have a lot of constant because pump in normal buildings, the pump is standard. Okay, we know 2850 LPM or something, but in industry it may go up to 410 meter cube per hour, parallel pumping. So this flow, pressure, that we need to take care of. Second is the different quality of the material, the flammability of the material, metallurgy, and of course the detection. Only problem is mainly in refinery kind of thing, compartmentation, which is familiar, or everybody is familiar with the commercial segments or building segments, but in industry is very difficult. So these are the challenges. In power plant also, conveyors, coal handling systems. So conveyor, we need to have the protection system, what maybe MBWS system along with the detection, LHS cables. So these are the area where we are giving importance while designing the system, and accordingly we are designing the pumping capacity, storage. So these are the things, and we follow a lot of international standards, and metallurgy also we follow ASTM or ASME standards. So these are the, because it is not covered in a lot of IS standards what we have, and in petrochemical YSD is there, but still we take NFPA 15, NFPA 16, so these we need to follow.
Yeah.
So these are the main thing. In short, I can tell you.
Yeah. So what about the storage tanks and the pipe rusting of pipes? Because you are
That
handling
is
high pressures in
yes.
the industry there.
Yes,
And
right.
always it's high pressures and high electricity or intense electricity projects. So I think a lot of consideration has to be given to the pressures as well as to avoid any leakage of gases and things like that. And I'm sure even the gas detection and intrinsically safe areas play major roles. How do you go about that, sir?
First of all, definitely while we are thinking about the storage tanks, it's not designed by us, designed by the other experts, but structural support, what is required to install the, maybe the tank cooling, we know MBWS system is important. In petroleum industry, foam flooding system, and there are different type of roofs are there in the tanks, maybe floating roof, cone roof. Based on that, we need to design the foam flooding system and foam pourer system also. There are burn protection is required. So these structural aspects, we take care into the design. We calculate the load required and of course dynamic load, not the static load mainly. And considering that, we select the structural material. Second is gas detection. Yes, of course, there are a lot of gas detections. The LEL is there, VOC is there in some cases. So volatile organic compound is there or LEL is there, we design that based on the requirement. Everywhere all the gas detection is not required. There may be hydrogen detectors. It's very important because hydrogen fire everybody is inflammable. You cannot see that, but it will catch fire. You never know the fire is there. You are walking, but you are burning also. So this is another area. And majority ammonia, there's another thing. So there are a lot of gas detections, there are a lot of areas, it is very difficult to explain in a very short time. But we always take care of that. And the leakages, of course, so proper welding, if it's an underground pipe, we always consider the wrapping coating. But it's not easy because nobody does. At least I can say in this forum, 90% people, they don't do the holiday testing, which is very important in wrapping coating. They avoid this. But it has to be done in every underground piping, whether it is residential, commercial, or because if you do not do that and there is no water in the pipeline, entire pipe will get corroded. So wrapping coating is very important with right material and right technology, and do the holiday testing before taking it down.
Thank you, Tarak Sab.
Thank you very
Your
much.
insights. Sir, as Tarak Sab designs the systems, and we know it's, historically, any incident in fire incidents in the refineries or oil and gas sector has resulted in major casualties and environmental damage as well of that. The emphasis, the need for stringent process safety management and improved training and rigorous compliance with operational protocols. Dhananjay Saab, you head the Chief General Manager and Chief of Fire Service for ONGC. I would like to have your comments on the regular risk assessment and hazard identification, strict compliance and trainings, and how you take up this.
Vanakkam, good morning. How are you? At the outset, let me thank FSCI and PAC for giving this opportunity, Khansa for giving me this opportunity. My simple question is this: what is the value of human life in India? I'm very bold in saying this because I know the day we start counting not the number, but the human life, things will come in proper way. Luckily, I am in the industry where the rules are stringent. We proudly said that we are following rules from the NF abroad thing, but still, saying so, our indigenous rules are also stringent. Problem is that whether we are implementing it properly, we are following it properly, and most importantly, people may not agree, is there is a political view or a political will to adopt those things. There are things which are coming. As he rightly said, at the time of designing, certain risks are taken into consideration. But as long as we then proceed ahead, there are revamping, there are renovations, and the added fire risk is there in the industries. If I talk about the offshore platforms, we have cupronical where we are using this saline water. We have different design systems. We have API, we have NFPA standards we are following. As compared to other industries, yes, oil industries has got more stringent laws, more stringent implementations. At the designing stage, yes, we are adopting the things which are required. But subsequently, we are going for the best possible equipment available. Important thing is that are we maintaining it properly, periodically? And are you ready to sacrifice the production of yours where the periodical maintenance is required? So this question comes when it comes to the production because it's a nation loss. The moment we are going for the periodical maintenance also of the equipment, then we have to bear certain oil and gas loss. But whether the government allow you to do so, they have given a target. So these are sort of the questions which comes. I don't think that a fire has to take place to learn the lessons. Am I right, sir, if I am not wrong? Because our laws are very stringent and we know when we are taking the risk or we are giving it for the designing as such, they are anticipating certain risk which will occur there. Some 20% will go here and there. Every fire has different dimensions. So basic principle remaining same, but we had to adopt the things. If I give an example of offshore, we said we should have to fight fire from the upwind direction. हमारे यहाँ बीच समुद्र में 90 meter depth में we are on the platform and the fire is on the other side. We don't have any other option than we to fight with the wind direction. So we have to mentally prepare for that. Another thing is that saying so, even if I compare to the civilian life, we talk about NBC and everything. Yes, they are stringent laws, but are we educating the first responder? We wait for the fire people. We had to create first responder, even the building itself. When you're talking about staying in the 60, 70 or 100 storied building, does any of the floor person who is occupying know how to operate the equipments available on their stories or that floor? So these are the basic things we need to take, because that initiative everywhere fire person will not be available, cannot be available. How much power, how much intelligent or how best equipment you are giving it, but it has to be operated by the first responder. That way we can reduce the intensity of the accidents. We cannot avoid the accidents. So that part is there. As he was saying, rules and regulations are there. We have a challenges. Are we reporting the actual fire incidences to the respective governing authorities? No. We try to hide, because there comes the reputation or the image of the company. I'll cite an example. I will not name the company. One of the company was given a task to build, as tank he was saying, it was a floating roof tank. And to height of it, the contractor has put ATP water, that is effluent treatment plant water for hydro testing. Very next day morning, the welder went on the top of the tank. He started welding. There was air vapor mixture there. It blasted. Tank has come up about 6 inch, and that lid of the tank has blown up. It was not the floating roof, it was fixed roof tank. So that gentleman fell down. It was a spot death. Contractor has paid him 4 lakh, 5 lakh, whatever is there. Case was buried in that case. What was the lesson learned? Nothing. People are going that way. So these are very stringent things we had to think. We must see our face in the mirror. Are we doing right thing? Talking about induction of the technology, AI, everything is good. But basic things, we had to value the human life. One person life lost is a family or entire thing is lost. So that concept has to be taken. Luckily, we in oil industries are stringent in offshore or even on onshore. Like he was talking about the Jaipur fire. Recently, the fire has happened in Koyali industry. What are the systems we are adopting? See, we are complacent when we are doing a certain thing for years together. A contractor has been given a target to take deep and see the level of this thing. So what happens? A person goes in a serial way, he digs the things. He is not bothered about if welding is going on something. So if there is a leakage, air vapor mixture is there, detectors are isolated. Detectors are there, but they are isolated to make it convenience for the operations. There are some trippings are going on. So I don't see that any improvement is required. Yes, it is a continual improvement, but making the system in ready to use condition, operating, not passing the laws and everything, but no. हम लोग क्या shortcut चाहिए.
Yeah.
So these are some challenges we are overcoming, but what I mean to say that value has to be there, training has to be given, and we had to take mock drills and all very seriously. आधे लोग बैठे रहते हैं, they make it mock drill rather than mock drill. So these things are very important. We have to take into consideration. As far as oil industry is concerned, we do have stringent laws we are following it, but we have to implement in the day-to-day life also.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I'm sure there are a lot of equipments which are required by you, being offshore installations. Are we prepared to have the right kind of equipments to fight the fires there?
Yes, sir. In offshore, we have sufficient designing as such is by the international standards. Equipments are there. Synchronization of detection and suppression system is excellent. Human intervention is very less, and they are sufficient to combat the fire. But thing is that saying so, if there is a gas leakage at a pressure of some about 50-55 bar, it's very difficult to control. We had to isolate the thing, and then last person who is giving, he will give a last attempt before evacuating the platform. Things are made that way, and equipments are sufficient. We have pumps of capacity 500 cubic meter, 400 cubic meter per hour. So
Okay.
they are.
So I think the process safety management plays very important role in whatever
Yes.
the industry you work with.
I will conclude my first session as this. There should be a will of adopting the technology and stringently following the rules, making the front line as a first responder, not as a fire person. Every person on the floor working should be acquainted with the equipment available for firefighting and detection purpose.
Thank you, Dhananjay ji. Now, coming back to an important subject again, seaports serve as critical hubs in global trade and logistics. However, the presence of hazardous material, heavy machinery, and flammable substances make them highly susceptible to fire incidents. Over the years, there has been devastating fires, including the Beirut port explosion, where about 200 lives were lost. Sir, today I have Dr. Rakesh Chaturvedi with me, Associate General Manager from Adani Ports, ACZ. And he's a specialized in emergency preparedness and hazard communication. And also he has set up a women safety officers wing in earlier organization he was working with. Sir, I would like to ask you about the importance of proper hazard material management, strict regulatory oversight, and emergency preparedness. So your side, because ports are a different thing to handle than the existing buildings.
Good morning to all. So first of all, I would like thanks to FSCI and to inviting me here. Basically, before going to hazard management, I am just going, want to take you through the port operation. So we are at Mundra, Kutch, Gujarat. So we are having Asia's largest LPG terminal where we storage propane and butane in -14 and -4 for producing LPG with addition of ethyl mercaptan. So one business is there, and second business is there. We are handling with petrochemical class A, B, C, and unclassified and various chemicals in a liquid terminal, that is storage tank form area. And third business is handling of hazardous chemical in containerized business, that is IMDG cargo. IMDG cargo means we are dealing class 1 to class 9. Class 1 start from flammable, explosive, and class 2 is gases, toxic, non-toxic, flammable, non-flammable. Class 3 is flammable liquid, 4 flammable solid, likewise radioactive, toxic gases. These are we are handling. So second type of business is this. And apart from these three business, we are having, you can say, 15,000 hectare of area where 80 industries are there in SEZ. So IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, Jindal, steel and powers, solar, petrochemical, Kutch copper. So huge industrial belts is there. So basic fire hazard identification is very important before starting any business. It is our philosophy before starting any new hazardous chemical or new business. We do a carry out a hazard identification, risk assessment, what are the protection system, detection system we are available with, resource management, what are the gaps we are having to handle such type of hazardous chemical, because we are handling toxic gases, ammonia also. So before introducing the ammonia, somebody told me it is similar like that. We are doing this IMDG cargo, nothing critical. So it is a basically cryogenic, and similarly LPG is in minus temperature. So we should have some hazard, not only for hazard identification, we carry out total risk assessment. That is come with the quantitative risk assessment, entire QRA, gas dispersion module, and these things, resource management we are doing. So people at risk, who are the people who are going to at risk while handling this entire operation. You can't imagine, I generally go various conference and seeing the people are struggling in NBC only. This is NBC is only 161 page document, part 4. But if we go to the industrial setup, like we are operating with various OISD standard, like OISD 156 for jetties, OISD 117 for terminal. So cross-country pipeline we are having 95 kilometer, which is transporting the LPG. We are taking the cargo from vessel to storage, cross-country pipeline, truck loadings are there, tanker loadings are there. So container is going through the trucks. Every day, 8,000 trucks going in, going out to the port. All hazardous chemicals, gases on the route. So you can imagine how critical if something goes wrong. But it is not possible because we are having a very robust fire prevention system, awareness, capacity building program. Even though we have, like sir is saying, first responder, we have created mandatory 8 hours training to each and every employee or associate staff who is working inside the port, whatever be the work profile of him. Later on, the refresher training is there. So what are the hazards associated in ports? Apart from these gases and other things, we are having a elevated cranes that is having a height of 55 meter. If one person is working 55-meter height and we are having 160 cranes. So 160 people are at risk at one, no, you can say unmanned area, only single man is there. So our priority is also that how to save his life also. In case of any emergency, how we are going to rescue him. So we are having equipped ourselves to have a rescue at such elevation. Suppose a vessel ship height length is 400 meter. You can see the vertical building is floating in a horizontal way. So building fire is as much as critical because due to involvement of huge residents, people, but vessel fire is similar to that. Like in Mumbai dockyard, there is a ship fire explosion occurred. Later on, this awareness comes to the fire prevention and all the things. So we are having these cranes and lithium-ion battery. We are also having a hazard of lithium-ion battery trucks. We are having 250 trucks operating to handling the container. So lithium-ion battery is a recent added risk 2 years ago. So we have conducted thorough study how the lithium-ion battery hazard can be mitigated and what are the protection level is required. Containerized firefighting, we are having a specialized piercing tools, piercing nozzle, which we brought from TFT USA. And container are being stacked in different levels. So, and we are facing a problem at top 5 level container was at fire. So how to fight the fire? Surrounding also are container, hazardous container. So crane need to pick the container and brought down to safer distance, then only we can fight the fire. But it is also a risk because bottom can break any time. But these things are happening, but we this year we have procured hydropan automatic firefighting system which is being operated in a telescopic manner. You can send the nozzle with a cutting tools turbine, simply connect the fire hose of fire water truck. So it will cut the container within 30 seconds and start firefighting inside only. Because container firefighting is not an easy task. You can't open the container to fight the fire. One reason is that technical reason, ingress of air will propagate the fire or explosion. Second thing is that we are having a challenges not to open the container. Suppose you are the businessman, I am going to open your container, I need to take consent from you. And surveyor and shipping line. But in case of fire, I am having authority, I can pierce your container flooded with water. One more important factor is water reactive chemical. How we are working that we are having a entire chemical compatibility. Compatibility chart is there starting from the shipping. The vessels racks are being identified, container is stored in a manner so that compatible chemicals cannot be missed out. Otherwise, what happens if two people are not like each other, they will fight with. Same thing, if oxidizer is there or flammable liquid is there, it will create a problem. So in similar way, in storage in our yard, we take care with the software to identify these things. Later on, we are having a emergency response ERG 2024 software mobile base. You can download from Play Store. We can identify it with UN number what is the container requirement and how to fight the fire. Entire chemical safety is the basic thing. Apart from that, we are having high-rise building. So we need to follow the NBC also, and capacity building of community, township, residents. So these things are, our main focus is our control of ignition source. Because control of ignition source, like in hazardous area, equipment shall be as per the zone classification, IS 557172 and OISD, permit to work system, static current, earthing bonding, no open flame. These things we are more precise and focused. And inspection and audit, we are doing first party audit, second party audit, third party audits, and PSM audit. So these are the things we are doing, and inspection and audits in every entire year, you can say we are doing 60 audits, different hazard identification, like trucks audits are there for lithium ion battery, cranes audits are there, building audits are there, chemicals audit. So that's all about the things.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Dr. Saab, just one question, like, do you have separate fire resistant storage areas for in your port?
Yeah, because in oil industry, OISD 164 says fireproofing, and for electrical NBC, it is mentioned that electrical cables, there should be a fire resistance paint, barrier. So we are having like 9/11 envelope studies there in OISD 164, which state that any flammable liquid line or process things are there up to the 9 meter of height, you should have a fireproofing. Suppose there is a pipeline of flammable liquid and 11 meter within other line is going, suppose in my area, there is a jetty, fire header is going on in parallel to the flammable liquid rack and fall within the 11 meter. So in case of fire in this corridor of flammable liquid, fire line will got melted. So we have put the fireproofing of 2 hours rating. Similarly on jetty, we are having a remote operated tower monitors. Up to the 9 meter, the tower structure is also fireproof, because during the firefighting and fire scenario, radiation will impact the structural integrity. The material iron loses strength 75% after 593 degrees centigrade. So structural fireproofing is there. Suppose if there is a fire, such a huge intensity, we need to abandon or evacuate for our life safety. So we are having a mechanism 100 meter away from the jetty. There is a control room. We can operate each and every tower monitor with joystick, and CCTV camera are there. We can project where we needed and where we need to apply the foam. So as per OISD, we are having a more than 70,000 liter of buffer foam storage also.
Thank you, Dr. Saab.
Yeah.
So whether for this firefighting, you said majorly requirement of water.
Yeah.
So whether you are using sweet water or saline water?
Yeah, very good question.
What percentage in fact?
Yeah, very good question. It's depend upon the, like jetty and LPG. We are having a 2 pump house. LPG internal terminal we are running with sweet water, and jetty is already charged with sweet water. To enhance the aging of piping network, we are doing chemical dosing also, so that corrosion could not take place. And we are having a SOP after any fire. Suppose fire is going to last up more than 1 hour. So we will switch over to sweet to seawater. And we are having a 1050 cubic meter of pumps. 6 pumps are there for jetty, LPG. And the second business, we are having a liquid terminal where we don't have any seawater, because we are having an 8 hours firefighting sweet water supply. Because most critical scenarios, we are taken 2 major fire in tank farm area. There are 2 pump house, each having a 4 hours firefighting capacity. We have interconnected both. So it become 8 hours. In case emergency, we can take down from the sea also. And we are having a, you can say, we fight the fire on the jetty with our system. Opposite the jetty on sea, we are having a tugs. Marine department is there. So tugs are engaged for firefighting operation at seaside. and from jetty side we are fighting the fire. Coast Guard is there, Navy is there for any major. And third one is most important, we are having a policy of abandoned vessel. Suppose vessel is on major fire, we need to abandon and take it down into mid of the sea.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah.
Sir. Thanks for your information. Sir, coming to challenges we face, India face significant shortage of fire tenders and firefighting infrastructure, especially in smaller towns and rural areas. According to reports from the Standing Fire Advisory Council and NDMA, the country has a major gap in fire safety preparedness. Today I have Dr. D.K. Shami, former fire advisor from Ministry of Home Affairs. Sir, I would like to have your thoughts. Can you take us down the line? Now, since you're not in position, I can take the liberty to ask you about the status of our fire scenario in India.
Good morning to all, and thank you very much, Khan Sahab. Only 5 minutes is left, and we two are there in the panel in addition to the question. So I will try to summarize in a table. Whatever figure you are mentioning, whatever figures has been mentioned in the different reports, it's all my creation. Actually, I did my empirical study in 1994, and based on that, I started projecting to the the Finance Commission. I will start giving you the basic data. In 1994, I collected the data from the state, and that time we had only 1,755 stations, besides the 33,000 of firefighters to cater the entire country need. And to your surprise as well, that even we failed to provide the fire station at the district level. Out of 540 districts, we had only that time 380 or 390 districts had the fire station as well as the fire tenders. So I mean, with that we started developing the fire infrastructure in the country. I collected data, projected to the Finance Commission. First time we got 80 crores, and in 80 crores we ensured that at least each district should have the minimum one fire station with 2 fire tender. And I could achieve in the from the 1995 to 2000. That was the first finance which provided by us, and we sensitized the state government as well. And you are aware of the Odisha cyclone. After that, they got a lot of the funding from the national international at national and international level, and they in fact reached to the maximum level of having the fire station in the district. Instead of 340, they had that time 346 fire station. So the Odisha was the one who started doing that. Delhi, as per the MHA report, they should have the 73 fire station in 1994. But that time they were, I think, almost they had 37 fire station during Mr. Delhi's time as well. So we started thinking that we need funds. We should give fundings to the state so that they can build the infrastructure. So from 1755 station, we started giving funding with the various programs. And now with the proud, I can say in 22 when I left, there were almost 3,600 fire stations with the 58,000 of firefighters, besides the special, the firefighting equipment. And yesterday only I had a talk with, because what now Mr. Romil Bania was talking about the 15th Finance Commission, that draft was prepared by me in 2021. And I had projected more than 500 fire station beside the 1,600 vehicles, a specialized vehicle, the funds allocated by the 15th Finance Commission of 5,000 crores. And Mr. Moreshwar sir told me that at least now they have cleared 442 fire stations in the new financial budgets. So with the proud I can say the deficiency of 85% is now coming down to 50%. So from 2012 to 2025, we could at least reduce the fire station deficiency 35%. So that is a great achievement. And I think we should appreciate the DGCD office as well as the state as well. They are also constantly giving funds for the infrastructure, whether it is Odisha, whether it is Goa. I mean, they keep on getting the funds, and they are doing with their own in addition to the central funding. The one of the condition for giving the funding from the center is that state should also contribute 25. So under compulsion, 75% they are getting from the center and 25% they are contributing. So under compulsion, they are also giving funds to this one. And then you write, you know that with the passage of time, due to the fire incidents and due to the sensitization, even the Prime Minister level, the intervention is there. And Prime Minister started, giving the kind of note to the states that they should have the proper infrastructure. So with his infrastructure, with the directives of the MHA, probably now states are more responsive and they are building this infrastructure. Thank you.
Yeah, sir, I just two more questions to you because I want to take your expertise in this. So I was told that there are only about 3,000 trucks operational, as we may be requiring about 8,000 to 10,000 of trucks required for the entire country. And also the new law which was passed, like more than 10 years old vehicles could not be used for diesel vehicles. That is also adding a lot of problem for the fire brigade people. So how can we cope up with this, and when you think that we'll be 100% there?
It's really a challenge, Khan Sahab. I mean, one hand we are trying to, reduce the deficiency. At the same time, we had to follow the law of land. I mean, as per the central directives, you cannot run your digital-based fire tender even after 10 years. Though Delhi Fire Service and others, they tried to, approach the right authority to increase the lifetime, because in 10 years the fire tenders are, I mean, absolutely, they are in a good working condition. And it's not to that fire tender, not only fire tender, the high-rise, the hydraulic platforms, which is costing almost 20-25 crores. I mean, I've seen in the DLF, the vehicle which they bought, even the 12 and 13 years old, it is absolutely in a new condition. So just with that verdict, we cannot keep on replacing our vehicles, and it is difficult to even provide the funding. So what now they are doing, like in some of the places, they are taking advantage of the different states. Like in Delhi, if it is a 10 years, in Haryana it is a 15 years. So people are trying to get the registration from the Haryana and trying to get it, rectified it, and they are doing it. But it's really challenge to replace in 10 years. Even we don't have the complete number of the fire vehicles in the country.
Thank you, Shambi Saab. Riker Saab, coming to you.
Sorry to interrupt you. This 10-year vehicles, why they have been not allowed to run due to emission point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to add one new update. We are starting retrofit of diesel-operated trucks and trailer with CNG, LNG, and it is approved by PESO. So we are in the verge of LNG filling station in ports, so that we can run these old, you can say, more you're not allowed after 10 year, or BS6 is not complied due to environmental emission issue. So the solution come up with to operate this with LNG trucks. We have got a trial 2 years ago, and retrofitting is approved by all CCOE and PESO, and soon we are going to start these trucks. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr.
True, but it is yet to be notified by the Central Legislative Authority, which is stopping to apply after 10 years. So you are right. The technology is there. I'm not denying it. People are trying to go for the alternative, and they have allowed it, like the diesel pump, diesel engine pump, even in the pollution. Yeah, but they asked to replace the diesel pump with the CNG or PNG or what. So they are doing it on an alternative technology. In the near future, we may get it, subject to the condition of getting the approval by the legislative.
And also we have the fire trucks to be approved by ARA. There is I think ARA plays an important role in approving the type of fire trucks to be used.
There are means and ways of doing it, One is that it was only allowed to be used up to 10 years span diesel vehicle, in the national capital region of Delhi, So in case you get the vehicle re-registered in another state which is 100 kilometers away from there, then after 15 years you can do that, Number two, after 15 years, you replace the engine only,
Okay.
Just replace the engine, And there's no need of any clearance and all that, because the emission level has improved drastically, So one engine replacement will allow the another span of 10, 15 years to go ahead with it,
We can go with BS6 engine.
Yeah.
Old engine.
This had gone to the High Court, This has gone to High Court, and the Delhi Fire Service was the one who was taken it to the High Court, So these are the alternatives available now with these sort of things.
So we are all prepared to.
Question will come whether equipment which are having the tender is workable or not.
Yeah, these are working as
You see, they are working. The question is that the superstructure which is there on the chassis is perfectly all right, because the number of fire engine which they run it is almost 1/10 and 1/20th of the other truck which runs on the roads, So it is limited very exclusively for firefighting purposes. So equipment is all right. The chassis, which is root cause for providing the emissions, in the weather, when it is changed to Euro 6 and all that, the problem is solved.
Yeah. Thank you, there is some.
One more thing, we are at the sea level, so chassis got worn out, corroded. We procured the chassis from Tata and get it.
You are very right, because people have done it,
Yeah, and my question to Raikar Sab. Yeah, so we have Shri Nitin Raikar Sab, Director from the Director of Fire and Emergency Service, Goa. He is specialized in emergency preparedness and safety incident command and has good knowledge on NBC. Sir, you have done a lot of courses, trainings and everything in emergency preparedness, and Goa being a state which is vastly spread across many area, and you have buildings there in existing small lanes, and you also have a vast coastline. So what exactly you're doing, sir, to avoid fires, and how you're training your people or the community to make sure that the incidents are less, and how you're preparing them, sir?
Good morning, all of you. As the Director of Fire and Emergency Services, Government of Goa, I have witnessed key challenges during disasters in the Goa area, and we have faces different challenges such as unpredicted weather condition, heavy monsoon, cyclone, and the rising sea level during the disaster causes disaster response very difficult, and also the coastal vulnerability with the extensive coastal lines, storm surges, high tide level area in the sea. We faces a lot of difficulty to give the response, quick response. Tourist population, there are many tourists are coming in Goa, and during the disaster, it is difficult to manage them, safety aspects. Even the limited accessibility, narrow roads, we find difficulties in approaching the incident site, and platform high level, turntable ladder, different difficulties. We are facing a lot of difficulties to station turntable ladder also during disaster. Resources constraint, availability of the specialized equipment, boats, trained personnels. The large scale disasters needs a continuous improvement in the area. Electrical and fire hazard and water seepages into the electrical systems causes a short circuit, also causes hindrance. Coordination with the multiple agencies, state disaster response force, police and the health services causes crucial during disaster, but can be challenging factors we are facing all over Goa, and we have to prepare thoroughly during disaster. We have to plan properly and conduct risk assessment during the coastal, especially in the coastal lines. Establish the emergency response center with a communication system during the area. Train and equip teams with a flood, fire and rescue operation during disaster. Also we have to train properly the fire personals and conduct the public awareness program also, that is also going on in the Goa region. And interagency coordination, we have to coordinate with IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, for early warning, collaboration with the Coast Guards, SDRF, municipalities and the panchayat also, and awareness program is also going on in the panchayat area, especially ensure the hospitals, relief centers are on high alert or not. We have to see that potential during the potential disaster, and we have got, in case of any disasters happens during the cyclone or any other disasters faces, we have already trained swift water flood rescue teams. We have got high density polyethylene rescue boats also in the, we have got 17 fire stations, and altogether we have got 10 numbers of rescue boats, high density polyethylene rescue boats we have stationed in the coastal areas, and cyclone shelters also we have identified, risk assessment center also we have identified, and mock drill, time to time mock drills also being conducted in the area. Recently we have launched an app, Agni Sandesh app. I can show you the app. Through that app, you can find out the live calls. Wherever the live calls has been taken place, we can find out from this app, and it is Agni Sandesh. It is launched by our Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Goa.
ಸುರೇಶ್ ನೀನೇ ಮಾಡ.
Next slide. Quick response we can get through this app. Through this app you can find out, we can dial 101 and launch. This app can be identified wherever the call has been taken place. Next slide. Live call, wherever there is a call. This slide.
Very interesting, Raikar sir.
Yeah, this is the, now we come to know that there is one fire call has been taken place and 3 emergency calls has been taken place in the Goa region, and we can find where there is an exact call. From this app we can find, we can go to the map and we can locate that area, and we can come to know that whichever call has been taken place, we can identify it from them.
Thank you, Raikar sir.
This is a launch launched by
interesting,
Honorable
very
Chief
interesting.
Minister, Government of Goa. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And I can understand your preparedness in Goa, because to reach anything in Goa, recently there was a concert, music concert. To reach that concert area, it took about 4 hours to drive and go there. I don't know how the fire trucks will reach there in time. So I mean, the roads are becoming broader
Development
now,
is going on.
on. But I really appreciate, sir, because the fire incidents are very low in Goa.
Thank you so
and it's been quite a challenge to fight fires, not because of the fires, because the approach is very delayed, I guess so. So thank you so much for all the expert comments here, and I think we just overshot by about 5 minutes. That's okay. And yeah, please. Yeah.
Just let me complete one half minute, I'm saying. Just to continue with the Take Water 2, where eminent panelists were there, and Lalit has taken a point that we should have third-party audit. Yes, we are already undergoing third-party audit, and third-party audit for not only for fire stations, or it should be for the buildings and all, where there will not be any intervention from the fire people, and whatever the outcomings are there, we should not try to compromise on that and say to auditors that just put out this point, just delete this point. Strict implementation of third audit party, TPI you can say, it will show you the mirror. And there the improvement will be there because we fire people are not expert for audit. Our people, we cannot spare for them also. So that is very important. We are doing it in our oil industries, offshore, and DNB and some BAS, they are expertise in that. When we indulge these people in there, definitely the quality of the fire services will improve. Where the constraints are there, it will be taken care of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Any questions?
I just wanted to check with either of you, how is the fire protection being done for the pigging of these lines? The pigging stations and the pigging lines.
You are talking about the pigging of the lines. Specifically, there is no pigging. It will now clean this area, and it will give the condition of your, now smart pigging is also there. So it will give the corrosion point of thickness of this thing. So exclusively firefighting systems are not required, but at the pigging stations, we do have a firefighting equipment, fixed firefighting system like we have foam systems and even dry chemical powder. So these are the, for pipeline, exclusively there is nothing which is being done. And corrosion monitoring is being done for the thickness, that smart pigs, they identify the lacunas where the thickness is there. Then clamping or just spool replacement has been done there. So I don't think there is any specific firefighting requirement for pigging of the line.
As you said, maybe the holiday testing is one of the most important things, I think. That's
Even your underground pipeline say cathodic protection is given. So that cathodic protection will also increase the life of that underground buried line, cathodic protection we are giving.
Next question.
Good morning, panelists, and good morning, moderator, and good morning, esteemed audiences. So I am from Berger Paints. I've got a specific question. So we spend a lot of money on interior decorations and other things. Obviously, the fire thing comes at the last, obviously as a compulsive measure. But my point is, different. In fact, my point is like, okay, what about the standard saying on end of life of the equipment? Like when I'm talking about the pump or I'm talking about the engine. Is there anything, in fact, which is going to guide me when to take that call, or what is the standard I should be following for that one?
Now, code says nothing about the life of pumps or pipes. Now, every equipment, so depreciation is there. Now, how you are maintaining that also give the life of the system. Now, if you do not paint your hydrant network in every 2 years and you expect that it will work like the new installation, then you see our foolishness simply. Code says every 2 years you have to paint the entire pipeline. How many industries they do it? Now, I am in this field since last 43 or 44 years plus. I have not seen, apart from the specific few industry, they do that maintenance. Pump, overhauling maintenance, it is there in the code. How to maintain the pumping. Nobody follows that. So life depends upon the maintenance is a very important thing. Piping, people forget whether the pipe is charged or is not charged. Hydrant that is not charged, pipe will get corroded, definitely oxidation will happen. So if you have to maintain that, so every stage, if you have a standard procedure to maintain the system, maintain the equipment, life will increase. But of course, it will not last for 100 years.
Thank you, Tarak.
Thank you.
And also-
Actually, my question was a bit different. My question was pertaining to the life of the panel and this pump. Panel meaning talking about the fire panel, which is going to give me the detection, in fact.
First, let me answer your pump part of it. So when pump is running for certain hours, it is manufacturer is giving how much hours it has to run, and subsequently after certain time, we have a NFPA guidelines where the NFPA curve is there, whether it is satisfying or not. And subsequently, that we had to see whether it is giving the desired performance. As he said, iteration will be there. एक equipment में extinguisher मेरे office में रखता हूँ. Okay, one I am exposing to the harsh weather condition. Office वाला 15 साल कुछ नहीं होगा. So that again depends on the conditions and the operation of the equipment. So अगर pump को operate नहीं करेंगे तो भी stuck up हो जाएगा. They have given certain time. So that life is specified by the manufacturers. It is up to you how you are maintaining and subsequently whether it is giving your desired results. There is no thumb rule for that. It has to be replaced within so many years, if I am not wrong.
Rightly pointed out, sir. मतलब मैं भी इसी लाइन में बोलने वाला था. In fact, basically, life of a industry has been defined for the 20 years payback period. Generally, payback period.
No, what you said
So-
is very right. The number of hours is fixed by the manufacturer.
Thank you.
Once it is crossed, if you have not maintained it and if it's crossed the limit also, and you get it re-evaluated from the company itself, they would check up the performance, based on which we will find that the deterioration has gone to 25-30% also. And accordingly, then revamping is being done by the companies itself. Like Rosker, I have a living example where I can say that we did it and accordingly we got it re-evaluated again and got the repair changed.
Rightly said, because I am as I was with pump manufacturing unit as a design manager for chemical process pump, worked around 9 years plus. Normally what happens is if it is a back pull out type pump, now you can pull it from the back, you no need to change the wearing ring. There is a wearing ring on the impeller. So you can adjust it, check the flow test, do the shut-off test and all. If you are not getting the desired performance, rightly said by sir, call the manufacturer. They will either replace the impeller or there may be a corrosion in the or erosion in the bearing or the shaft. You have to change it. You will get the new pump. As no need to change entire pump and buy a new pump.
Yeah.
So everything,
Thank you.
casing even you can change it.
Thank you,
So,
sir. Thank you
I
so
have
much.
one question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I think
Hello,
you-
sir. One
yeah.
question.
Acha, one
See,
question. Okay, one
as,
question.
as you said, you call OEM. I am from the OEM side.
Yeah.
I represent a company called Securiton.
Yeah.
The problem which we are facing when you talk about the maintenance and all, yes, rightly said, maintenance is one of the biggest issue which we are not doing it properly. Problem with us is 10 महीने के बाद जब सिस्टम में प्रॉब्लम आती है देन पीपल से ये OEM का सिस्टम ही बेकार है because they are not maintaining it. See, the idea of talking to you is that we should have some process or maybe there is some guidelines or some written document where you should encourage OEM to come to the site every 1 year or 1.5 year and test the system and see the system. So it is not happening.
Rather, OEM should give the clear-cut instruction that you have to do monthly, quarterly, or the daily. Such tests.
No.
And you should maintain the check. If they fail to do that, that means
No,
they
sir.
are responsible. I think we should conclude it now.
It's all training and awareness, what you can do. Sir, we can take it offline, sir. Yeah.
I think this is the first time I have seen in panel discussion so many question answer.
My name is Rohit.
So, Mr. Rohit, I'll just reply. Sir, last question I'm answering him.
Please, please.
Sir, see, there is a comprehensive maintenance contract. When you have OEM or some companies, now things are changing. You don't say, see, it is a willing of the company whether you want to maintain it or not. There is a 5-year, when you procure equipment, 5 or 10 years comprehensive maintenance contract is given to OEM. So in that case, the responsibility lies with the OEM to maintain that equipment. We are doing it.
Okay,
So
great.
now thinking is changing with the scenario with the people. That is government. There is no law as such, but how much you want to save your people and equipment, that is important.
Life is important, so all maintenance, everything to be done on time. I think, thank you so much.
A point
panelists,
from me,
and
sir.
also
It's not a question. Possibly, I mean, one of the most interesting session we had in this seminar. Most interesting session, and we got many things from every one of you. I've got some specific questions, but I'll take it off the line. Yeah, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Let us
Thank you.
one photograph, Chaturvedi sir. And we have this MOU signing going on in the main hall, so I would request a big round of applause first for the panelists and the people out here for one of the most interactive sessions for today. Yes?
Because you allowed it.
फोटो कौन खींच रहा है आपको मिलेगा
नहीं नहीं इधर नहीं
वही फोटो क्या फोटो तो
एक मिनट
रुक जा